welcome to another episode, guys. I'm back on Genesis Farm today. I'm visiting John and Jolene again. And John is going to take us for a walk on the farm. He's going to show us the organic veggies that they grow here, the free-range chickens they recently got, as well as the tilapia fish that they are busy breeding. Hope you enjoy this one.
At the current moment, we're harvesting Jerusalem artichokes, which are these exciting looking sticks over here. They grow through summer and become ready for harvest in autumn, and then you can harvest them all through winter until springtime. We also got growing at the moment peas and fava beans, broad beans. That becomes ready for harvest in springtime. At the same time that our asparagus comes in for harvest. Then we plant our tomatoes, which is the predominant crop through summer. We plant a lot of plants because they benefit the plants growing with them, or they act as a deterrent for insects. Case in point is the rose geranium that we grow here. Anything with aromatic leaves tend to deter your leaf-eating insects. So if you plant this in proximity to another plant, it will prevent that plant from being attacked by leaf-eating insects. Other examples are growing sweet basil and tomato together. They complement each other's flavor very, very well. And then also the herbs help to keep insects off of the tomatoes. What we've got growing here is blue potatoes. It comes out a deep blue, purple, almost black color. It's a very interesting potato. How we grow this, I started out by digging a deep trench. Planted the potato eyes at the bottom of the trench in compost, and then as they grow I fill the trench in with more soil and compost mixed. Eventually we're going to end up with a mound probably about shoulder high, which will be solid potatoes 1.5 meters deep all the way down. Potatoes are heavy feeders, so it's best to follow them after something like peas or beans, and then add lots of compost. This is wild rocket, rucola. Which I far prefer to sweet rocket, which is actually not sweet, which is actually quite bitter. Also has the benefit of being an excellent companion plant. It kills nematodes, which are tiny little worms that attack the roots of plants. So we've got it growing wild as a weed pretty much all over. The root releases an enzyme that attracts nematodes, yet also contains a poison that kills nematodes. It's a bit of an asshole in that way. So great for fumigating your soil, great for nitrogen fixing, and yeah, it grows very easily and it's fantastic to eat. Here we've got fava beans. They're now coming into flower. Another month or two and they'll be starting to bear bean pods. It's not a fishing story, it's literally foot-long pods. Pod is this size. The individual beans are up to this size. Curious thing about them is the younger beans you eat like a green bean, like a normal bean. When they get full-sized, you actually need to pod them twice. You need to take the beans out of the bean pod, and then you need to blanch the bean and get rid of the hard shell on the outside of it to get to the very tasty bean on the inside. So it's a bit more work. You do get a lot of bean for your money though, for your effort. Other curious thing is fava is just Italian for bean. So you're saying bean. Fava bean. It's like Leo Gamka, you're saying lion.
Yeah. Cool. So this is chard, hey John?
This is yeah, Swiss chard. Also called spinach, but it's not actually spinach. The actual English spinach is a different plant. Also grows very easily, very nutritious. It also comes in a variety of colors. We've got the yellow one over there. There's a beautiful purple one as well. Get the normal white. This is what people understand as spinach, which is actually chard. There's a frilly one and there's a straight leafed one at the back here, with the white heart and the green leaf. And then this beautiful purple one over here. Gorgeous colors. Yeah, we've got a pilot plant going. Aquaculture, we're growing tilapia in the tanks. It's a tropical African freshwater fish. The meat is very similar to that of a trout, just not so pronounced a flavor, so a milder flavor. But also a lot of protein, a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, very good eating. I've also got on top of the tanks growing duckweed. Amazing little plants. This contains as much or more protein than soya beans do, 35 to 40% protein per mass, which the fish also eat. So that's a nice dietary supplement for them. Also contains quite a bit of vitamins. Then I've also got growing in the same tanks to utilize the nutrient-rich water that the fish create as a side effect of their natural functions. I'm growing watercress in here. It's another aquatic plant, also great eating. And yeah, as you can see, grows very successfully because the water contains quite a bit of ammonia and nitrogen. Fish excrement, food that doesn't get eaten, all of that, and that elevates the nitrogen and ammonia levels in the water. Having plants in the water actually helps to keep the natural balance of the water a bit better, keeps the pH on a manageable place, takes a lot of the nitrogen out, because nitrogen is basically a fertilizer. Also breaks down and removes a lot of the ammonia, which makes my job of keeping the fish water cleaner a lot easier. The rest we just do through circulation, filtration, and then partial replacement of the water. I replace 10% of the water every week, and that keeps the levels of the waters in a good place for the fish to survive in.
Okay, so there's quite a interesting story regarding the chickens, and John's going to explain it a lot better than what I could. But this is amazing. Like, Tammy is absolutely in love with chickens. My dream is to have my own chicken coop one day, and what John's got here is just putting the biggest smile on my face. So John, like, tell me a bit more about why and
the backstory here is we had tomatoes growing in the greenhouse for 5 years running.
Yeah.
I'd grow 2 or 3 lines of tomatoes at a time and then intercrop with other crops. However, after 4 years you end up with tomatoes having been everywhere in the greenhouse. Now what happens is you get increased susceptibility to diseases, especially the tobacco mosaic virus, which attacks all the nightshades. So chilies, peppers, eggplants, and tomatoes, and tobacco, of course.
Yeah.
On top of that, all your things that eat tomatoes know where to find your tomatoes.
Yeah,
because
sure.
it's the same place as it was the year before and the same place as it was the year before. So what we started seeing was the yield got smaller, the individual tomatoes got smaller, and then we'd have all sorts of weird bugs and worms and whatnot eating the tomatoes. And then, of course, the biggest one of the lot being the, hey dude, I'm a pirate because R.
Perfect timing, bro.
So
It's brilliant.
the best way to cure that is to actually just give it a bit of a break. Now the tobacco mosaic virus has a life cycle of 2 years.
Okay.
Which means that for if you've got it, for 2 years afterwards it stays in the soil. So you can't plant any pepper, any chili, any tomato, anything for the 2 year span.
Okay, hectic.
Coincidentally, the useful lifespan of a hen is 2 years. After that, the egg production starts dropping off quite alarmingly. So I thought, hang on, let's take everything out of the greenhouse, buy a bunch of chickens, put them in here, let them, hey, two pirates.
Two pirates.
Let them
is
do their
amazing.
thing for 2 years. Additional benefits of that: they fertilize the soil, obviously. They clean the soil beautifully because chickens, in their nature, they scratch, looking for things to eat in the soil. So nothing grows where a chicken has roamed. So they're cleaning the soil beautifully for me, which means that when we're done with this, I can plant straight away. I don't have to
Okay.
spend time weeding the soil, preparing it in any way. The chickens have fertilized it. But also, if you look over there, chickens love a compost heap.
Yeah.
They'll scratch through it and they'll find all sorts of good things to eat there, which means that your feed bill goes down because the chickens are basically foraging their own food. And they're also working their way through the compost heap. So once again, after 2 years, I'm going to have beautifully clean compost directly here where I need to work it into the soil.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's benefits all around.
And then obviously you've got eggs for the next 2 years.
And we've got eggs for the next 2 years. And on average, you will get 1 egg out of a chicken per day.
Yeah.
So 150 chickens will give you 150 more or less eggs a day, 7 days a week.
Brilliant. And let's check out these eggs. I'm quite keen to see how many we've got here.
I've already taken out this morning. I took out these ones have only been laying for a week or two. So the eggs start out. You can see the tiny little size there. And then as the chickens get more mature, the egg size gets bigger and bigger until you get your normal jumbo egg.
Okay.
But so for now we get these little, almost like quail eggs. They're still coming on production, so we get at the moment about anything from 10 to 20 eggs a day. But in a week or two it's going to be hundreds of eggs a day. Other interesting thing is if you look at the chicken, at the eggs themselves, they all have slightly different colors. See, this one has got white speckles all over. This one is a sort of a weird pink color. This one is a lovely brown color. This is indicative of the chickens having a varied diet, because whatever the chickens eat will manifest in the eggs that they lay, particularly in the color of the shell. I find if I feed them chard and beetroot leaves, they end up actually laying almost purple colored eggs, well, purple shell eggs. And then if they have just grain, and leafy greens, you end up with a brown egg. So yeah, if you buy a tray of eggs and they're all different colors, good sign. It means it's not been a factory kind of setup where a truck comes with a whole bunch of feed and that's what the chickens end up eating. It means, yeah, someone's fed them a varied diet.
Yeah. This is awesome. Yes, see, this thing's claws are quite like strong. Okay, chill there. Well, okay, well, that's it for another episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I surely did. This has been like a life dream of mine to be in a well looked after chicken coop, free range. And one day, hopefully soon, I'll have my own. So until next time, please subscribe if you haven't, and spread the word. Please share the video, it really helps a lot. And I'll see you on the next episode, guys. Cheers! All right, let's go.